What if I told you that at our age, the secret to making a woman crave you has nothing to do with abs or fancy moves in the bedroom? There are hidden traits, emotional cues that make women in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and even 80s deeply drawn to a man. Today, we're uncovering them, and you might be surprised by what truly matters now. Hi, I'm Elle. I've discovered patterns that show what actually keeps desire alive later in life. In this video, I'll share the hidden emotional traits that make women crave you, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. Let's get started. In your 20s, attraction might have been about chemistry and spark, but after 50, women tell me it's about trust and truth. One 62-year-old widow I interviewed said, "At my age, I don't need a man to rescue me. I just need one I can be real with." Research backs her up. A 2023 AARP relationship survey found that emotional safety was ranked the #1 quality women over 50 desired in a partner, higher than romance or looks. So what does emotional safety look like now? It's being open about your fears, your health, your hopes. It's saying, "I get lonely sometimes too," instead of pretending you're fine. It's listening when she shares something painful without trying to fix it. A divorced man in his 60s told me, "When I stopped acting like I had all the answers and just listened, that's when women started leaning in." Emotional safety is the new form of seduction. It tells her, "You're safe here." And for a woman who's lived enough life to have scars, that's the most intimate thing you can offer. And that safety only works if she knows you're consistent, which brings us to the next hidden trait. Younger relationships often thrive on spontaneity, but at this stage of life, women crave stability more than fireworks. According to a Psychology Today study, women over 55 rated keeps his word and emotionally dependable as top indicators of lasting attraction. Consistency doesn't mean boring. It means showing up in the small ways. You text when you say you will. You show up when you promise. You don't ghost, disappear, or get defensive. I once spoke to a 70-year-old man named George, divorced twice, now happily remarried. He said, "My wife doesn't need grand gestures. She just needs to know I'll be there." And I am. That kind of dependability is powerful. It's emotional glue. It builds predictability, which lets a woman relax. And when she relaxes, intimacy deepens. Consistency is the quiet superpower. It makes women crave your presence, not just your attention, because reliability in a world full of maybes is sexy. But consistency becomes magnetic only when it's paired with something deeper, a sense of purpose. Let's be honest. After 50, you've likely reinvented yourself a few times. Retired, widowed, divorced, maybe newly dating after decades. And yet, one thing remains irresistible to women at any age: a man who still has direction. Women are drawn to men who are alive inside, who have something that lights them up. It's not about career anymore, it's about curiosity and contribution. A 58-year-old woman I interviewed said, "He doesn't need to climb mountains. I just want a man who wakes up with something to look forward to." That might be volunteering, restoring old cars, mentoring young people, learning guitar, anything that gives your life texture and meaning. When you invite her into that passion, even just to share it, she feels pulled toward your energy. It's not the ambition that attracts her, it's the aliveness, and women can sense that spark immediately. Purpose gives you depth, and depth gives her craving. It says, "This man isn't waiting for life to end, he's still becoming." But even a man with purpose can lose connection if he forgets the next trait, one that's often misunderstood. Studies from the Kinsey Institute show that couples over 60 who practice regular non-sexual touch, hugging, hand-holding, gentle affection, report significantly higher satisfaction in both emotional and physical intimacy. Because, let's face it, as bodies change, energy changes, and sex may not be as frequent, but affection, that can grow stronger. When you reach over to hold her hand while watching TV, when you touch her back as you pass in the kitchen, when you text her something simple like, "Thinking of you," hope you're smiling. That tells her you're wanted, not just needed. I interviewed a couple in their late 70s, married 45 years. The wife said, "He still kisses me on the forehead every morning. That's my favorite part of the day." That's the magic. That's craving beyond chemistry. Affection outside the bedroom keeps the emotional current alive inside it. It's quiet, simple, and powerful, and it tells her that intimacy is something you live, not just something you do. We've talked about emotional safety, consistency, purpose, and non-sexual affection. But how do you put it all together in daily life? Let's wrap with that. Most men over 50 think romance fades with time, but the truth? It evolves. Craving now is less about chemistry, more about emotional resonance, the sense that she's seen, valued, and understood. So, start small. Each morning, send one message of appreciation. Not about looks, about who she is. Be consistent. Follow through on the little things. Stay purposeful. Keep something in your life that gives you joy. It's contagious. Touch with intention, non-sexual affection, eye contact, laughter. These 4 traits build a rhythm that deepens connection week after week. When she feels seen, safe, and appreciated, she craves you. Not your muscles, not your bank account. You. So here's the truth. Attraction after 50 isn't about trying to be younger, it's about being more authentic. If you master emotional safety, consistency, purpose, and non-sexual affection, you'll create the kind of connection that lasts, the kind that still makes her crave you when the lights are out and the years have passed. If this spoke to you, hit like, subscribe to Aged and Confused, and tell me in the comments, which of these traits do you think matters most in your relationships today? I'm Elle, and remember, love doesn't fade with age, it just gets smarter.